The CEO laughed because he thought he had already lost everything, but he had no idea he was about to find hope in the last place he would ever look. The hospital corridor smelled of disinfectant and quiet despair. Machines hummed softly, like they were whispering secrets no one wanted to hear. Daniel Cross, once the unstoppable CEO of a global tech empire, sat motionless in a wheelchair near the window. From the neck down, his body refused to listen to him. A car accident 6 months earlier had taken his legs, his independence, and slowly, his will to live. Doctors came and went. Therapists tried, failed, and gently lowered expectations. Friends stopped visiting. Board members replaced him. The world moved on, fast and merciless, the same way Daniel once had. Every morning at exactly 5:30 a.m., the janitor arrived. His name was Marcus Hale. He wore faded work boots, a uniform too big at the shoulders, and exhaustion in his eyes that no amount of sleep could erase. He was a single father to an 8-year-old boy named Liam, a child who believed his dad could fix anything. Marcus cleaned the floors, emptied the trash, wiped fingerprints from glass walls. He did his job quietly, invisibly, just the way the world treated him. But every morning, before he finished his shift, he stopped near Daniel's wheelchair. At first, Daniel ignored him. Marcus noticed the small things others missed. How Daniel clenched his jaw when people spoke over him. How his eyes drifted to the exit every time someone walked freely past. How silence hurt him more than pity. One morning, as rain streaked down the window, Marcus broke the silence. "Rough night?" he asked gently. Daniel didn't respond. Marcus nodded anyway. "Yeah. Me too." Day after day, Marcus kept talking. About his son learning to ride a bike. About burning toast. About life being unfair but stubbornly beautiful if you stayed long enough to see it. Weeks passed. Then one morning, Daniel finally snapped. "Why do you talk to me?" he asked coldly. "I can't even stand. I can't even feel my legs. You think small talk helps?" Marcus didn't flinch. He leaned on his mop and met Daniel's eyes. "No. But I think not giving up does." Daniel scoffed. "Easy for you to say. You walk. You don't know what this is like." Marcus took a slow breath. "You're right. I don't. But I know what it's like to lose everything and still show up." Daniel laughed, sharp, bitter, broken. "And what do you know about helping someone like me?" Marcus hesitated. Then, quietly, he said the words that changed everything. "I'll help you walk." The laughter came instantly. Daniel laughed so hard it hurt. Nurses turned. A doctor shook his head. A billionaire, paralyzed, being promised a miracle by a janitor. "You?" Daniel said between laughs. "You clean floors." Marcus nodded. "And I raise a boy who was told he'd never speak because of a birth defect." Doctors said accept it. "I didn't." Daniel stopped laughing. Marcus continued softly, "My son spoke his first word at 6. They were wrong. Sometimes people are wrong." Daniel looked away, swallowing something heavy. For the first time in months, his laughter died, and doubt took its place. The first movement was barely visible, but it shattered a man who thought he would never feel anything again. Marcus began coming earlier, unpaid. He brought books about neuroplasticity, stories of recovery no one talked about because they weren't guaranteed. He didn't promise miracles. He promised effort. They started with breathing, visualization, pain, frustration, failure. Some days Daniel screamed. Some days he begged Marcus to stop. "You don't understand what hope does to someone like me," Daniel said once. "It destroys you when it fails." Marcus wiped sweat from his forehead. "Hope only hurts when you quit." Weeks turned into months. One afternoon, Liam came with Marcus after school. The boy stood nervously in front of Daniel. "My dad says you're strong," he said. "Stronger than him." Daniel's eyes burned. That night, Daniel cried for the first time since the accident. Progress was cruelly slow. A twitch. A sensation. Then nothing for days. Doctors were skeptical. But Marcus never missed a morning. And then it happened. Daniel felt pressure. Not pain. Not imagination. Real pressure. I felt something, Daniel whispered. Marcus dropped to his knees. Again. Try again. Daniel focused until sweat soaked his shirt. His foot moved, barely, but it moved. The room went silent. Daniel stared at his leg like it belonged to someone else. His chest shook. His laughter returned, but this time it shattered into sobs. He cried like a man grieving the life he lost and welcoming the life he might still have. Months later, with braces and tears and trembling strength, Daniel stood. Not alone. Marcus held him. Liam cheered. Doctors watched in disbelief. Daniel didn't become the man he used to be. He became better. He funded rehabilitation programs. He paid Marcus's son's education in full. He offered Marcus a position not as an employee, but as a partner in a foundation built on one belief. Never underestimate the power of someone who refuses to give up on you. On the day Daniel took his first unaided step, he turned to Marcus and whispered, "You said you'd help me walk." Marcus smiled through tears. "I kept my promise."